I know that you're looking forward to a big year and an improved year. Talk about universally the defense. How much better can this unit be than last year?
I think we're just taking it, one day at a time, starting slow, got on the ground yesterday, starting fast with it. Just, taking it one day at a time. I mean, we just, like I said, we can do a lot of things, but we have to, come in and work hard, keep communicating as a team, as a defense. And like I said, we can do whatever we want. As long as we do those things.
Omar?
Got me while I'm eating my Pringle. I heard this summer that you were the guy that coordinated the players only workouts.
Man, who told you that, man?
after getting in your feelings about seeing the Jets and the Bills come in your community and do their players only workout, what was that process like, coordinating it, and what was the motivation?
It was kind of tough because you got a lot of guys in the off season, we would have been in OTAs, but the coronavirus. But you got a lot of guys, want to have their free time to themselves. A lot of guys got wives, a lot of guys got kids. So having to get it coordinated, had to get like a group message started, with specifically the defensive line and get those guys, hey, we're going to be here at this time. And of course, you got other teams, doing that. I of course want to get my guys, rolling, get my guys a head start of, things like having rookies coming in and trying to get ahead, trying to get the playbook and things like that. So of course, when I had that opportunity to do that, of course I took advantage of it.
Joe Schad?
Davon, since you're in charge of organizing things, I have an idea. What about a team private viewing of 2 of the movie?
2 of the movie. Hey, if he got a movie coming out or something? Yeah,
it's gonna be on Fox.
Hey, I'm excited to see that. I hope they have the last game, when LSU beat them. But hey, I'm just leave that up to grabs. That's my guy, though. He's a great guy, man. He's a great guy.
Travis?
Hey, Davon, how's it going, man? I wanted to ask you about some of the offseason additions made up front this year on the Dolphins defensive line. How do those additions help you guys be more multiple up front?
We have guys, Shaq Lawson and Emmanuel Akbar. Both of those guys can rush the passer. Both of those guys can set the edge. So I think when you look at those 2 guys, you look at, a very big, very strong, very physical guys. So with me and Christian inside and to add some other guys to it, I think, we just want to start off, being like a physical defensive line. We want to rush the passer. We want to stop the run first. But I think when you add those 2 guys, you're looking at 2 guys that can really set the edge and really can play on third down too.
We're gonna go to Hal.
Hey, Davon. I know you probably are keeping a very close eye on what is happening with college football. I wanted to get your views on what you think, what you'd like to see happen, and also, there's some talk about even spring ball. And I can't help but wonder if you go to spring, is anyone who's an NFL prospect going to play that kind of ball?
Probably not. Because you kind of throwing it off schedule with the guys usually playing in the fall, then the spring they're usually getting ready for draft time, combine time, and things like that. But I don't know. But I'm very interested. I hope teams like, if the ACC doesn't play, I hope teams like Clemson can join the SEC and play a couple of those games, a couple of those teams. Teams like Ohio State, the Big Ten can come down and play, SEC, ACC. It's very interesting. I see the Big 12 is going to still go. I think the SEC is going to go. I think the ACC is still going to go. But the other 2, the Pac-12 and the Big Ten. Hopefully, so some of those teams can come down and play, SEC and ACC and things like that. Big 12 teams.
We're gonna go to Safed.
Davon, what's going on, man?
Oh my God.
You were, obviously on the COVID list for a quick, couple days there, but I just wanted to ask, what was that process like, and what do you think of the process of, players jumping on the COVID list, being quarantined from one another? Do you think it, helps the teams keep their goal of, keeping guys COVID free and able to continue in practicing and things like that?
Absolutely. Once you first jump on the COVID list, I jumped on it, but, I knew it was like a false positive for me because I didn't think I had it because the antibodies already said that I already had it like back in June sometime. So I didn't think, when I first saw it, I'm like, hey, this can't be right. But, I got a second test, got a third test, and both of those was negative. So I'm just glad the NFL, I think they fixed it or something, like you can, like once you test positive, you have like a test the next day where you can like get it, like clear it. So I'm glad they fixed that, because I think a lot of guys are going to be like screwed, like in season. If you test positive and then on a Friday and you had to test 2 negatives, you know, you're going to miss that Sunday game. So I think I'm glad they fixed that. But at the end of the day, I think it's a good thing, good protocol got to do. You know, when you test positive, you got to leave the building. I mean, you can't be in the building, you can't come in the building, because you have, you know, right now you have 79 other guys, you know, on the roster. You know, you can't mess with those guys. You can't screw those guys. So when you test positive, I think it's, you know, absolutely red flag, you know, to leave the building.
We're gonna go to Cam Wolf.
Hey, what's up, Davon? How you feeling, man?
What do you do?
Wanted to ask you, you know, everybody always looks at sacks, you know, whether it's teams or individual, to kind of grade things. And I know Flo talks about like scheming pressure. What do you think about the concept of scheming pressure and how effective that can be for defense, you know, maybe in lieu of big sack numbers?
I mean, it works well. You know, you have, you know, Flo was with, you know, New England, and, you know, they had the same scheme pressures, and, you know, you just have to have everybody do their job. You know, if the nose tackle got to penetrate, he got to penetrate, because the buck probably got to, you know, do a stunt, or he got to do something. So you just got to have everybody on the same page. I think once you do that as a defense, I mean, you're going to get sacks, you're going to get the numbers you want, you're going to get the TFLs, you're going to get all that, but you have to do it as a team. That's 11 guys on the field as a defense. I think once you do that, I mean, you can do pretty much anything you want. I mean, like I said the first time, but you can't have guys out there being selfish. You know, oh, I'm gonna jump this gap when I should be in this gap to try to make a play. I mean, it's not going to work like that. You're going to have teams getting gas in the run game and in the pass game, open up big lanes for the quarterback.
Last one, we're going to go to Omar.
I do want to ask you a question about how important it is for you to step up your role as a leader. I know you were a leader last year, but you did say something that kind of confused me and let up a red flag about false positive tests and being on the positive list, and the NFL changing some of the rules. Can you clarify that? So this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
I think the rule, I was talking to Kyle, the trainer, usually when you got a false positive test, you have to be out for 2 days. You have to take 2 negatives in order for you to get back in the building. Now they have a thing where if you test false positive, they can get you immediately to the cardiologist. They can get you to take some tests that same following day or the next day, and you can get those results back, whether like in 10 to 15 minutes. And you do that, then you see whether you was negative or you was really positive, you know, and you come back and then you back in the building, or you at home.